What up, everyone? Happy Thursday. So I wanted to talk about happiness and joy, the distinction between the two, and how knowing that distinction can bring you more peace in life and allow you to take situations that are seemingly negative and flip them around and flip the script. So the idea is that happiness is an internal feeling based on external conditions. So for example, there are things that make you happy and there are things that bring you joy. So things that make you happy, for me, for example, are eating fruit or maybe hanging out on the beach, going a walk in the park. All of those things are external, are necessary for me to feel that emotion of happiness, and they're all external. However, what brings you joy is completely different. And joy comes from within. It comes from inside of you. So something that brings me joy, for example, is when I think about the various people that are around me, how they are being elevated as I am elevating myself. That's one thing that brings me joy and allows me to be in that emotional state, that feel-good state, without necessarily needing something external and being able to tap into that internally. So that, what's the practical application of that? Well, a lot of things. One, if things aren't necessarily happening around you to make you happy, if you understand the difference between happiness and joy, you're able to tap into that joy when maybe there's nothing to be happy about, quote unquote. So maybe, for example, you lost your job, or you're facing, an eviction, or, a lot of these things that cause deep sorrow and distress and pain and despair because of external circumstances. The only thing that you can really do is control how you react to that. And a big key for me and for others to react to it in a positive way is to tap into that joy that's within and think about the things that bring you joy, that bring that good feeling, that isn't necessarily contingent upon what's happening in the external. So one thing that always brings me joy, for example, is any type of hardship that I've ever gone through. I've always emerged from that having such a deeper appreciation for the good times because I've been through the bad, and having a much more expanded awareness. So anytime that something might not be going right in my life based on the external circumstances, I'm able to anchor that feeling in and still feel good in the moment just by tapping into what's inside of me. So the difference between happiness and joy, happiness is determined by external circumstances, while joy doesn't need to. Joy comes from within, and you can tap into a joyous state whenever you want. It's just about being mindful of when you're allowing your energy to be dictated by external circumstances which are making you happy. And the thing is, to the body and to the mind, on a physiological level and even on an emotional level, there's no difference. You can feel just as good from, for example, being at Six Flags and the fact that you're going to get to go to Six Flags versus just the feeling or the internal realization that you get to go there. So the body doesn't necessarily know the difference between it. It only knows that feeling. So when you realize that you don't necessarily need things to be okay on the external world for you to feel good internally, everything changes, So I would invite you guys to take a look at what in your life makes you happy, right? What in your life makes you happy, and try and hold on to those, try and invite that more into your life. But it doesn't stop there. It's not just about happiness, but it's about exuding joy. And now think about the things that can bring joy. And this has nothing to do with anything external. So don't think, oh, well, I have this, and it has all to do with how you perceive things and your level of perception. So think about that. What makes you happy? What brings you joy? And when things aren't necessarily going right externally in terms of your circumstances, tap into what brings you joy to stay in that positive vibration. And just remember, everything is not permanent. Everything is impermanent. The only thing that's constant in this world, in this universe, in this existence is change. So When you're able to understand that, impermanence becomes your best friend. Things are going great, good. Know that it won't last forever and appreciate it that much more. When things aren't going great, same thing. Understand that it won't be like this forever and that better days are coming. So with that, just wanted to clock in for a quick video. It's been a little while. I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep growing. And let's get this growth.